everyone, today I'm going to teach you about integers, or whole numbers. First, we need to answer the question, what is an integer? Well, an integer is simply a number that has no decimals or fractions, hence the name whole number. Integers can be positive or they can be negative numbers. 0 would also be considered an integer. Negative numbers are a bit tricky, so we can see what they are using a number line. We already know that when we count from 0, the numbers are getting bigger, 1, 2, 3, and so on. But what is on the other side of 0? These are negative numbers. In a similar way, negative numbers appear to be getting bigger as they move away from 0, but the negative sign means that they're getting more negative, so they're actually getting smaller. To get a little clearer, imagine that 0 is the surface of water. When we count higher, the positive numbers get higher and higher, but when we count below, the numbers are going down and they're getting smaller. Now that we know what positive and negative integers are, we can add them. Let's say we have a problem like this, positive 4 plus negative 2. When we have a problem with positive and negative numbers, there are rules. For example, in this case, the rule is when there's a positive sign next to a negative sign, the negative sign would always win. So, this problem would become 4 minus 2. And 4 minus 2, of course, would just be 2. Just a side note, those parentheses around the negative 2 are only there to separate the two signs and don't actually change the meaning of the whole problem, so don't worry about them. What would we do if we had a problem like this? Positive 3 plus a negative 4. Well, first we know our rule. The positive sign would become a negative sign, so we have 3 minus 4. Here we can use our number line, because we can see that when we subtract 4 from 3, we pass 0, so the answer would be negative 1. Now let's do some subtraction problems, and that gives us another rule. When we have two negative signs next to each other, it would create a positive sign. It's a little bit complicated, so we can use this example. If you were to say, I don't want not to eat, which is a weird way to say it, you would basically just be saying, I want to eat. So those two negatives on top, don't and not, create a positive statement. It's the same thing in math. So if we were to take the problem 7 minus a negative 9, you take it step by step using that second rule we took. So it would be 7 plus 9, and 7 plus 9 is just 16. Now that we know something about negative numbers, I'm going to give you a real-life problem. Let's say that we owe a cashier $5, but we only have 2. It would cause the problem $2 minus $5, which, if we use a number line, would mean we owe the cashier $3, or negative 3. A friend gives us $10, so the new problem would be negative $3, what we owe, plus the $10 our friend gave us. So if we go back to our number line, we would see that now we have $7. If you don't like using a number line, or it's just a bit confusing that way, you could also switch the numbers 10 and negative 3 to get 10 minus 3, and you get the same answer, because in addition, it doesn't matter which is where. Now let's talk about multiplication, and we have another rule. If you multiply two of the same sign, like two positives and two negatives, you'll get a positive number. If you multiply two different signs, you'll always get a negative number. For example, if we have the problems positive 3 times positive 4, negative 3 times negative 4, negative 3 times positive 4, or positive 3 times negative 4, the last two would actually just be the same problem. We go back to our rules and see that two positives create a positive, so 3 times 4 is 12. Two negatives create a positive. A negative and a positive create a negative, or a positive and a negative would create a negative. The rules for division are super easy because it's literally the same as multiplication. So let's say we have these problems. Positive 4 divided by a positive 2, negative 4 divided by a negative 2, and a positive 4 divided by a negative 2, or a negative 4 divided by a positive 2. That is a positive 2. I made a mistake. I know it has a negative sign. We look at our problems. First one, 2 of the same sign, so positive 2 and positive 2. The last two different signs, negative 2 and negative 2. I hope this video helped you learn about integers a little bit. Don't forget, if you need to see this video again, you should. If you want to take notes, you should. Good luck!